Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 206. We have got some more numbers from the many BEV producers for 2023, and we have some interesting development. And it's now pretty much official. The Tesla Model Y did become Europe's best-selling car. And a whole new race has started in the automotive industry because of the fear of being left behind in manufacturing. And GM is giving up on full autonomy, and NIO is ditching LiDAR for vision-only autonomy, so seems like Tesla and Elon Musk was onto something. And in the US, Tesla is growing faster than the entire industry in BEVs. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
We have got some more numbers from the many BEV producers for 2023, and we have some very interesting development. Estimated 2023 sales of Rivian's R1T is 19,410, and this beats the sales of the Nissan Titan of 19,189. So a big congratulations to Rivian for a company that just 3 years in the market, beating this old company that's 90 years old. Ford sold 24,165 F-150 Lightnings in 2023, so Rivian is actually not that far off from Ford's sales numbers on their pickup truck, and a good showcase that the old guys didn't just come in and could just scale up production like nothing, as many of the automotive analysts thought they would, because they had manufacturing experience. Well, Ford has over 100 years of experience in manufacturing, and Rivian has about 3. So you can't really see that in these numbers. They are really close in terms of sales. And Ford was supposed to ramp up like crazy to catch up to Tesla and get to 2 million EVs sold in 2026, which were their target only a couple of years ago. They went from 61,575 EVs sold in 2022 to 72,608 EVs sold in 2023. So they increased their sales numbers by 11,033 units, with a whole year of ramping up their EV production. Tesla grew with about 500,000 EVs last year. So no, Ford is not gaining on Tesla, not even a little bit. So it might look good that Ford grew its Lightning sales with 54% in 2023, but when we are only talking about 9,000 units in growth, it's really not that impressive, more concerning, especially if we take into calculation that there are about 12,000 F-150 Lightning sitting in dealership lots right now. That is more than 55% of Ford's sales in 2023 of the Lightning. So they are actually not sold to customers but only to their dealers. But it gets even worse if we look at the Mach-E, and that is even more concerning, as that model pretty much stayed flat in 2023 compared to 2022. Ford was able to produce and sell 40,771 units to dealerships. In 2022, they sold 39,485 units, so they grew with 1,313 units. But there are more than 22,000 units sitting on dealership lots. So for a company that is desperately trying to ramp up the EVs, this is very concerning, especially when the Mach-E is a direct competitor to the Model Y that has become the best-selling car in the world, selling over 1 million units. And that is not with 50% sitting at some dealership lot. This is a direct sales to customers. So these more than 1 million Model Ys is actually sold to customers. So the only one that actually gains on Tesla in 2023 was BYD, still more than 200,000 units behind Tesla in sales for the full year, but they gained on Tesla last year. But another company that said they would be the biggest electric car maker by 2018 was Volkswagen. Well, that clearly didn't happen. But did the big mighty Volkswagen Group gain on the little Tesla brand in 2023? No. Volkswagen delivered 771,000 units, up from 572,000 units, so up almost 35%, so that's not bad. But remember, Volkswagen had a target of 750,000 BEVs sold in 2021. So Volkswagen is 2 years late on hitting this target. But adding a couple of 100,000 BEVs in a year is not enough to catch up or even keep up with Tesla. In 2023, the gap between Tesla and the entire Volkswagen Group expanded to more than 1 million units. Only 3 years ago, in 2020, the gap was only 268,000 units. And Tesla did 1.8 million units with only 4 models. The Volkswagen Group had 19 different models. So Tesla sold about 57% more units, even though Volkswagen had almost 5 times the models. And of course spent a lot more on advertising for their electric vehicles. So again, more models and spending millions on advertising is nothing that will make sure you sell more units. So Volkswagen is not catching up to Tesla, but we can even combine all of the German automakers' BEV sales, and Tesla still sold more units in 2023. But I do hope and believe that the Germans will sell more than Tesla in 2024. If not, they do have a huge problem with BEV sales, but I think they will all grow in 2024, so it should be very unlikely that Tesla can stay ahead of the entire German car industry in BEV sales. But they did in 2023. And I am right now having some fun learning a bit of Spanish, and Babel, the sponsor of this video, has over 160 hours of Spanish lesson, culture content and game to help you understand the culture through language. So this also makes it more than just a language learning app. You also learn about the culture of the language, and is made fun with small games like the game Sing Us Bell. Makes the learning experience much more fun, and you can even mix it up with an online course if you prefer to learn with others as well. And you can make it fit your needs and time schedule. If you only want to spend 30 minutes a week or more than 4 hours a week, that's all up to you. And you can of course choose if you already know some of the language or a complete beginner like me. You can set it all up and match you and your preference. And 75% of Babel's users accomplish their goal. Their method is backed by research at Yale University. And Babel is scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks. And that is why Babel offers a 20-day money-back guaranteed. So that's pretty cool. And with Babel's language recognition software, it can even hear what you're saying and if you're saying it correctly. Gracias. And I personally like to take a break from work and do a quick course or play a little game to get some learning in during the week. But as we all know, hearing a language is always a good way of learning it, and that is why you can also listen to podcasts through Babel in the language you want to learn, or even dive deeper with Babel magazine, exploring articles on language, learning and culture. So much good stuff within Babel to learn a language and its culture. So click my link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen to get 60% off your subscription and start learning a new language today. And a big thank you to Babel for sponsoring this video. Adios. And it is now pretty much official. The Tesla Model Y did become Europe's best-selling car. Not EV, because that race was not even close, but the best overall car in Europe, breaking all kinds of records. We are still missing about 3% of the numbers, but the Tesla Model Y is so far ahead that it is pretty much official. The Tesla Model Y did become the best-selling car in Europe, a place where many analysts said that Tesla was not going to make it because of the German automakers and all the competition that was in Europe for EVs, but the polar opposite happened. The Tesla Model Y took Europe by storm and became the first electric car to finish the year off as number 1, the first mid-size car to finish the year off as number 1, and the first premium car ever to finish the year off as number 1, and the first non-European car in the modern era to finish the year off as number 1. So we really need to let this one sink in. So what Tesla has pulled off in 2023 in Europe, Toyota has never been able to do, Ford has never been able to do, GM has never been able to do, Honda, Hyundai, Mazda, Kia, no one of the other non-European brand has ever been able to do this, even though they sell cars for half the price here in Europe or even less than the Model Y. This is just so impressive, and I really don't think Tesla get enough credit for this achievement in the mainstream media. But Tesla is not going to hold back or slow down in 2024, even though someone like Volkswagen has slowed down and cut back on EV production. Tesla is not stopping their aggressive approach with prices. Tesla Model Y is now even more available here in Denmark, Germany, and many other places here in Europe as well. But as Tesla wrote in their press release, in pursuit of our goal of accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy, a key focus for us in 2024 is to ensure that Tesla becomes more accessible to more people. We aim to achieve this by leveraging original engineering and manufacturing processes, making our approach more time and cost effective. By passing these efficiencies on to our customers, we are able to make the best product even more affordable. Our Model Y is now available 350,000 Danish crowns, so about $50,000. If I remember correctly, on all the different models and so on, that is an average of about 7% price reduction on the price on the best-selling car in my country and in Europe in 2023, making it even harder for the ICE cars here in 2024, and of course all the other EV competition. Now the Model Y starts at basically the same price as the ID.5, and the long-range Model Y is now even cheaper than the ID.5 equivalent, and Volkswagen doesn't have anything that can match the performance Model Y. So this move could very well make it even harder for Volkswagen in 2024 here in Europe than it already is, and are making the Model Y the obvious choice, even though it was already the obvious choice as the sales numbers in 2023 has shown us. So it seems like Tesla wants to continue to push hard for growth in 2024 as well, making the best-selling car even cheaper. Now the Model Y in my country starts below the average selling price of 2022. And Tesla did become the best-selling EV brand in Europe as well, actually growing in 2023 BEV market share from 2022, up from 14.6% to 17.6%. This should not be possible with all the competition that has come into the space in 2023, but a real testimony to Tesla's pace of growth here in Europe, and thanks to the Berlin factory that will be able to produce even more cars in 2024 than it did in 2023. A whole new race has started in the automotive industry because of the fear of being left behind in manufacturing. Many laughed at Tesla when they showed off their gigacasting production technique, but now the whole world is racing to copy Tesla's old production method, just as they laughed when Tesla said they would build a useful humanoid robot. But as Tesla has already shown some insane progress, not so many people in the industry are laughing anymore, but have started to understand this will be a game changer for the industry. And if Tesla would be the only one that have a humanoid robot in their factories, it would give a tremendous advantage to Tesla. And if the others have to buy the robot from Tesla, that will also give Tesla the upper hand. So now we are seeing others taking steps to make sure they will not be left behind in this race as well, and try to make some joint partnership to make sure they don't have to partner up with Tesla to get a robot, just like everyone has partnered up in the US with Tesla's charging network. Now BMW will put humanoid robots from Figure in the US manufacturing facility. So I personally think this is a good thing, also because they have just legitimized the whole idea of humanoid robot working in factories. Now people will probably stop laughing at Tesla's idea of having Optimus doing useful work in Tesla's factory, as now BMW wants to do the same thing. You might have seen a lot of video lately on Figure's robots, and they are doing some impressive stuff as well. And BMW is seizing this opportunity to get up front in the race of humanoid worker robots in factories. Robotic startup Figure said it has signed a partnership with BMW Manufacturing to deploy its humanoid robots in car makers' facilities in the US. This makes the first commercial deal Figure has signed since it was founded back in 2022. While the company didn't disclose how many robots BMW will be using, the partnership will start with small quantities and expand if performance target has been met, according to Brad Adcock, chief executive at Figure. And even though Figure's robot looks a bit more clumsy than Optimus and maybe be an iteration or two behind what Tesla has right now, it's still very impressive what Figure has created here in just a little over a year. And for it to become a useful robot in a car factory, it does not need to be very graceful. So I think it is a good move from BMW to try try to get into the humanoid robot game without being able to do it themselves, but sign a deal with Figure, because this will become a big feature in the not so distant future. If you don't have a working humanoid robot in your factories, you will not be price competitive. And Tesla's robot seems to be closer than many people think. Tesla posted some jobs on the 10th of January for the Tesla bot team, and as you can see, it says work with manufacturing, test team and suppliers to achieve high volume mass production with high yield. Tesla is not kidding around when it comes to the Optimus robot. I think we will see some very interesting things from the Tesla bot team this year. But only hours after I posted about this on X, Elon posted a video of the robot folding a t-shirt, which is a very complicated task for a robot, and maybe Tesla left a little Easter egg in the video as well, as the t-shirt it was folding did say Autopilot AI. Don't know what that is, but maybe Tesla has something coming about their full self-driving AI as well. But this is not Optimus doing this autonomously, as Elon wrote. Important note, Optimus cannot yet do this autonomously, but certainly it will be able to do this fully autonomously and in an arbitrary environment. Won't require fixed table with box that has only one t-shirt. So here Optimus is basically learning how to do this task by having a human showing it how to do it, by having this suit on that controls the Optimus robot. But this is really the beauty of the Optimus robot, as it is run by vision and neural network, so that it can learn everything by simply being shown how to do it. And we can see just how smooth the robot is able to move its arms and hands and fingers and so on. Very fluid and smooth, almost like a human. Looks like we have so much fun stuff coming our way in 2024. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Toyota will once again become the best-selling automotive brand in the US in 2023, just in front of Ford. But a new kid has entered the top 10 list in the US, and that is of course Tesla, that now sits on the number 8 place. This is truly amazing. With only 2 models that are really driving volume, Tesla is now the 8th biggest auto brand in the US, and of course the only one in the top 10 that is a pure EV play. We can only try to imagine what will happen when Tesla release the compact car into this market. And BMW's sales were up in 2023. The BMW Group sold 155,000 more units in 2023 than in 2022. But BMW's BEV grew by more than 160,000 units to 376,000 units, up from 216,000 units. In other words, BMW's non-BEV vehicles sales decreased, while BEV sales more than compensated for the decline. So hopefully they can continue to grow fast enough in BEV sales to compensate for the decline in their ICE cars, and hopefully start making some money on their BEVs, or it will not look very good, as their profitable business is going away and the non-profitable business is growing. Hope they can find the balance, because this will not be easy, but even BMW CFO said the tipping point of the combustion engine is already here. Yes, exactly. ICE car already peaked in 2017. And Toyota's old CEO and now chairman Toyoda said, "Let's continue to make engines." Toyota's chairman is known for being old school car guy, and he's thrown his considerably weight behind the future of petrol power. Yeah, there is a reason why this guy was removed as CEO of Toyota. No vision for the future whatsoever. So let the man play with his combustion engine while the industry transition to EVs. And AJ was also asked on give me a good reason why Toyota valued $260 billion and Tesla $700 billion. And don't say robots and Cybertrucks. And AJ showed this chart showing that over the past 10 quarters, Tesla generated $14.6 billion, while Toyota lost $6.1 billion in free cash flow. Yes, exactly. One is on the decline and the other is on the rise. One is the past and the other is the future. This is why there is so much difference here. AJ also came with another great example of Tesla versus the legacy automakers in terms of value. From 2018 to 2022, Tesla generated $15 billion on 3.4 million vehicles sold, while the Volkswagen Group, excluding Audi and Porsche, we'll get back to that, generated $6.2 billion on 37 million vehicles. So 10 times the amount of vehicles sold, but only generated half the amount of money. But why did AJ take out Porsche and Audi off the group? Well, that is because they are the true moneymaker for the Volkswagen Group. Without them, Volkswagen is not doing that great. Between 2018 and 2022, 89% of Volkswagen Group's free cash flow came from just Audi and Porsche. That is insane. Not much value in the Volkswagen, Skoda, Seat brand. It all comes from Audi and especially Porsche. They better make the electric version of the Macan a smash hit, or it will hurt the entire Volkswagen Group, as this is Porsche's biggest seller. And Mazda finally joins Tesla North American charging standard. Now we're only waiting for Stellantis. But they are looking to sell their headquarters in Urban Hills, Michigan, so maybe this is all just signs that the Stellantis is going to leave US altogether, as they have not yet joined the best charging network in the US. What are they waiting for, if not leaving altogether? And Tesla supplier Panasonic plans to roll out new iteration of the 2170 cells with improved capacity as early as this year, the CTO of its energy business said. A revamped version of the Panasonic 2170 cell will begin production at the Giga Nevada factory. Panasonic has been working to boost the energy density of the 21 cell, adding that it could help reduce the overall cost of an EV. We will expand battery capacity and improve production capacity at the same time, they said. And we have some more setbacks from GM this week, as GM reportedly is cancelling Ultra Cruise, the automaker's next-gen semi-autonomous driving assist system, and refocusing on the less capable Super Cruise. Ultra Cruise was announced in 2021 as the next evolution of the GM Super Cruise system, offering hand-free driving capabilities in 95% of driving scenarios on 2 million roads in the US and Canada, with 3.5 million miles covered over time. By contrast, Super Cruise offers hand-free driving during extended highway driving across 200,000 miles of North American roads. Both Ultra Cruise and Super Cruise are considered a level 2 autonomous system. Maybe Mary is just waiting for Tesla to solve it and licensing it from them. And we know Volkswagen is working with quantum space for solid-state batteries, but that work seems to be delayed, as Volkswagen is now starting talks with France Blue Solution on solid-state batteries, the report says. So, as I made a whole video about 1 or 2 years ago, when we first started to hear about QuantumScape, they would not have any meaningful production before 2028 if everything went according to plan. And as they seem to be the leader in the space, I speculated that we will not really see any solid-state battery in EVs before next decade. So the OEMs can't just wait for solid-state battery to come along. They have to survive this decade first, because this is where I believe the battle is going to be. And if they are still around for the 2030s, then solid-state batteries might come into the picture, because we firstly have to get solid-state battery to high production volume before we can get the price down, so it actually makes sense in a car, because it doesn't matter if it can drive 5,000 miles and charge in 2 minutes if the car costs $10 million. And don't forget, Tesla's earnings call is next week on the 24th, and Elon will share some thoughts about 2023 and 2024 and forward. Don't know if that's going to be at the earnings call or afterwards, but definitely something to look forward to. And I know there has been a lot of noise about Tesla's charging network not working in Chicago in cold weather. But remember, this is one incident out of a decade of working seamlessly. And in other parts of the world, like in Sweden and Norway, where they have some of the coldest weather we have seen for the last 25 years, getting down to minus 43 degrees Celsius, pretty much the same in Fahrenheit at that point, and there has been no problem with charging network. And a second Jesse from the Now You Know channel also shared a video on X about it. Bruce, the Tesla Model 3 on X, that had the Tesla Model 3 working just fine in some really cold weather as in Sweden. So it's not a thing that EVs don't work in cold weather. Something else was definitely definitely going on in Chicago, as it was nowhere near as cold as these other places. And Jeff Lutz went to this scary supercharger in Chicago the day after, and everything seemed to work properly. So because of one issue with the Tesla supercharger, the mainstream media went crazy and EVs was the devil in cold weather. This is one-off. Remember, Tesla chargers have an uptime of more than 99%. Also in freezing cold weather in Norway that has already 90% BEV sales. So I doubt we will hear much more about this ever again. And as we can see on this chart here, after Elon took over Twitter, X is now at its all-time high usage. I can personally say my usage is also at a peak high, and use of any other media platform is at my all-time low. And the refreshed Model 3 got its first safety rating, this one in China, and as expected, the Model 3 passed with flying colors and got a 5-star safety rating. And in Australia, we got the list of the most recalled vehicles in 2023. And thanks to Tesla's over-the-air update, Tesla didn't even have to make a single recall on a single car. You can see the list bottoms out with only 10 recalls. Tesla didn't even have that. They had none. Now, this is the truth about recall and over-the-air updates. And it is not like Tesla didn't sell any cars in Australia in 2023. The Model Y was the 6th best-selling car overall in Australia. But still, it didn't even make this list with recalls of 2023. But Mazda did have over 185,000 recalls. Ouch. And CES is done and many people came to visit. And about 87,590 people took the boring tunnel to and from the convention center. So it seems like it is working very well. And Matthias on X made a whole thread on this a couple of weeks back. And when compared to the subway of LA that cost $500 million per kilometer when it was built, well, in comparison, the Vegas Loop is really a bargain with only around $19 million per kilometer. So when something is this much cheaper, we are talking about 26 times cheaper, it will become a success eventually. And the Boring Company is expanding to 55 stations in Las Vegas, so this will be very exciting to follow. And we did see some information about Tesla as an electricity provider. As RG wrote on X, first time I had a bill within the last 12 months, this sucks. So it seems like RG has a Powerwall and is able to buy electricity low and sell high thanks to Tesla software, and maybe got some solar panels as well. But the bill was $2.37, and that was the first time in 12 months he had to pay for electricity. So when more and more people experience how much there is to save on having solar panels and a Tesla Powerwall, the more people will buy them, and the bigger the virtual power plant Tesla can create. The future of energy is decentralized. And it is official. Cybertruck nationwide tour coming soon to Tesla Experience store in China. So that's very cool, but Elon did say on X it would be very hard to get the Cybertruck approved for Chinese sales. So that is some bad news there. But hopefully Tesla will make this tour to Europe as well, so we also get a chance to see the beast in real life and up close. And Ford has introduced the F-150 Lightning switchgear, an all-electric pickup truck built for off-road performance. Now that looks like a lot of fun. Hope that can get some demand going again for the F-150 Lightning in the US. And thanks to Todd for providing more pictures about Tesla's Dyna that is really starting to take shape. No doubt that it should be ready to take customers in this year. Can't wait to see when it is all done. And we talked about Tesla winning the EV race in Europe with the best-selling EV model and the best-selling EV brand, but in the US, Tesla is still dominating so much that everyone else combined can't keep up. And Tesla continues to grow every single year. And do you remember all these negative press about Tesla's share of EV segments tumbles to 50% in Q3? Well, in Q4, Tesla actually had 56% of BEV market share. So they grew faster in Q4 than the rest of the auto industry combined in EV sales. And this was also the week that SpaceX did another manned mission to the International Space Station, and it was once again a successful launch and yet another showcase of SpaceX making spaceflight reusable, as this mission was both a reused Falcon and a reused Dragon spaceship. And Tesla officially broke ground on the $3.6 billion expansion of the Gigafactory in Nevada, which will add 4 million square feet of manufacturing space and 2 new facilities for the Tesla semi-truck and the 4680 cell production. And NIO is now ditching LiDAR. NIO's sub-brand codename Alps will use pure vision solutions similar to Tesla's for its smart driving system to keep costs down, according to a new report. What do you know? More and more gets it. LiDAR is not necessary. Elon told us many years ago.
LiDAR is a fool's errand, and anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. Expensive sensors that are unnecessary. It's like having a whole bunch of expensive appendices. Like one appendix is bad, well, now they want to put a whole bunch of them. That's ridiculous.
And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this news show. My 2 new YouTube members, Donald Martin and Torben Verdict. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this news show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. So now the Tesla Model Y did become the best-selling car in Europe and probably in the world, let's take another look down memory lane to another golden oldie from Mark B. Spiegel himself. Wow, today both Faraday and Ford, Tesla is really effed. Well, this was 8 years ago, and Ford is getting absolutely crushed by Tesla in the US, and Faraday, well, is still nowhere to be found. Yeah, no one could predict the future like good old Mark Spiegel. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot, so others can find it here on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out, add some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research, charts and spreadsheet, also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.